Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're in class 7, you know there's a big change this year. Our new English textbook is here and it's called Purvi. So if you've been following my honeycomb videos, don't worry, those concepts are still super useful, but for the new academic year we're diving into Purvi. And guess what? We're starting with Unit 1 and the first amazing story is called The Day the River Spoke by Kamala Nair. Trust me, it's a beautiful story about dreams, courage, and finding help in unexpected places. So grab your textbook or just settle in, because we're about to explore this heartwarming tale together. Let's jump right in. Our story begins with a young girl named Jahnavi, and right from the first line we know she's upset. A big bright tear splashed down her nose, and another. She's clearly very sad. Around her, nature is peaceful. A beautiful kingfisher bird dives down, its wings shining like a blue arrow in the sunlight. A green lizard crawls near the river to enjoy the warm sun. Everything is calm, but Jahnavi feels alone and upset. Suddenly, she hears a voice, a murmuring voice, soft, gentle, and sleepy, like the sound of water flowing. It says, "Dear, dear, what's the matter?" Janvi is shocked. She was sure she was all alone. So who was speaking? It couldn't be the lizard. It had just slithered quietly to the river's edge. Lizards don't talk. It couldn't be the kingfisher. It was up in the bamboo, busy eating the fish it caught. It couldn't be the parrots. Parrots are loud and noisy. They shriek. But this voice was soft and sleepy. Janvi is totally startled. She looks around, but there's no one. It can't be the animals. Their sounds are different. So who is it? Well, it turns out, it's the river itself. Yes, the river starts talking to Janvi, and in such a gentle, comforting voice, reminding her that she comes there almost every day and shouldn't be scared. This is our first big takeaway. The river is personified, meaning it's given human qualities like speaking and comforting. How cool is that? The river then tells Janvi to share what's bothering her. And this is where we learn about Janvi's biggest dream. Jahnavi's dream is incredibly simple yet so important. She wants to go to school and learn to read. She explains that her elder siblings, Etan, whose real name is Gopi, and Meena, go to school, but she's always told she's too small or that maybe next year. Now she's almost 10, and she's still stuck at home, looking after her younger brothers, Ramu and Appu. Imagine how sad she must feel, seeing her siblings learn while she's left behind. Jahnavi isn't just sad about missing out, she's filled with curiosity. She asks the river a flood of whys, like why spiders are yellow in yellow flowers, why bamboo trees rustle, why the moon always comes from behind the hills, never the other way, why the baby fish in the field water become frogs, why. This shows us how much she truly wants to learn and understand the world. Her dream isn't just about reading, it's about knowledge and discovery. The river, a bit breathless from all her whys, even shares a secret about the moon's path, showing its ancient wisdom. Now here's the turning point. Janvi feels helpless, but the river, in its wisdom, tells her, there's only one thing you can do. And what's that? The river, almost playfully, challenges Janvi. It tells her to just slip along one morning and sit there in the school and listen. It even reminds her that little girls are just as capable as little boys, swimming just as fast. Janvi is really scared at first. She gasps, "I couldn't. They'd scare me. They'd chase me out." The river laughed. "You? Scared?" the river said. "When you're not afraid of the green lizard or of the snake in the bamboo clump." Jahnavi startled. "Or the big trains rattling past that bridge." "Trains are noisy. I prefer ships," said the river. Jahnavi never knew the snake lived in the bamboo clump. "What are ships?" she asked. "Big boats," said the river, "so big that they can take hundreds of people, and they sail along the sea with lights that shine all night." Jahnavi held her breath. "Will they come here?" she asked. "I'm afraid not," said the river. "Too large, you know. Chandu's catamaran is good enough for me. Chandu can take you to see a ship someday." "They'd never let me," wailed Jahnavi. "Try going to school first," said the river. "Remember, it's up to you." This is the river becoming Janvi's ultimate cheerleader and confidant. It's telling her, "You're brave, you can do this." The river's advice is simple. Remember, it's up to you. It's telling Janvi that her destiny is in her own hands, and she needs to take that first step. Inspired by the river's words, Janvi gathers her courage. The very next day, with little Appu on her shoulder, she quietly goes to the school. She's panting and out of breath, but she makes it. She stands by the door, listening to a story about King Ashoka, and then, very carefully, she creeps into the back row and squats down with the other children. This takes immense bravery, right? Imagine walking into a new place, uninvited, with your little brother. Soon the teacher notices her. Instead of scolding her, the teacher is kind and asks her name. When the other boys tell the teacher that Janvi is Gopi's sister, the teacher is understanding and supportive. She tells Janvi, "If you really want to come to my school, we'll talk to your father about it. Don't you worry, we'll find a way." What a wonderful, empathetic teacher. The story quickly moves to the next evening. Janvi saw the teacher walking up the steps to their gate the next evening when she was lighting the lamp. She could see her father scratching his cheek the way he did when he was worried, and the teacher was nodding and saying something she couldn't make out. And then, Janvi hears her mother's words, full of relief and support. "Little Janvi, I shall miss you when you go to school. Girls should learn as much as they want. When I was your age, I wanted to go to school, but your grandmother said no. But now, I am glad the teacher came to talk to your father." This moment is so important because it shows that Janvi's mother understands her dream, and probably felt the same way once. Finally, Janvi's dream comes true. She is allowed to go to school, and Janvi's story doesn't end there. She immediately thinks about the future. She says, "Mother, when I grow up, I'll be a teacher, and I'll go from house to house in our village, and ask all the little girls to come to my school, and I'll teach them all that I'm going to learn." This shows her deep commitment not just to her own learning, but to empowering other girls too. The very next morning before school begins, Janvi goes back to meet her special friend the river. "I did it," she tells the river, full of excitement. "I was scared, but I did it, and they're letting me go." She talks about how she'll learn to write her name, do sums, and finally find out, why do little fishes in the rice fields turn into frogs? The river hears her and gives a sleepy chuckle, promising to tell her more about the ships that sail the sea someday. What a beautiful full circle moment. Janvi started crying by the river, and she returns to the river, bursting with joy and success. The river, her first confidant and guide, is there to share her triumph. So what are the main things we can learn from the day the river spoke? The importance of dreams and education. Janvi's deep desire to learn shows how vital education is for curiosity, growth, and empowerment. Courage and initiative. Sometimes we have to take the first brave step ourselves, even if we're scared, just like Janvi did. Support and empathy. The river and the teacher show us the power of listening, understanding, and encouraging someone's dreams. Breaking barriers. The story subtly touches upon girls' education and how one person's dream can inspire change for others. Janvi's promise to become a teacher for other girls is a powerful message. The wisdom of nature. The personified river teaches us to listen to our surroundings and find inspiration and guidance in unexpected places. And to quickly answer those, let us discuss his questions from your textbook. 1. What was Janvi's dream? Was it important to her? Why? Answer. Janvi's dream was to go to school and learn to read and write. Yes, it was incredibly important because she was deeply sad about not being allowed to go, and she had a burning curiosity to understand the world, asking many whys. Her bravery in going to school alone and her future ambition to teach other girls further show its importance. 2. Do you think the river can help her in fulfilling her dream? How? Answer. Absolutely. The river was crucial. It provided a safe space for Jahnavi to express her sorrow, offered comforting and encouraging words, and most importantly, gave her direct advice to go to school and boosted her courage when she was afraid. It acted as her wise, silent guide. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into The Day the River Spoke from Purvi Unit 1. I hope this explanation helped you understand the story better and appreciate its beautiful message. What was your favorite part of the story? Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Now let's move on and solve all the exercises from this chapter, The Day the River Spoke, starting from page 6 of your textbook. Make sure your books are open. Let's begin. Okay, let's complete the table based on the provided chapter. Here's the completed table. Column 1, Jahnavi's questions. Column 2, the river's answers. Why the moon always comes from behind the hills? It goes down towards the sea. I've seen. It always takes the same way, over the mountains and down to the sea, like me. Can I do something? Well, it's up to you. Seems to me, little girls can do as much as little boys. They swim as fast as little boys. What are ships? Big boats, so big that they can take hundreds of people. And they sail along the sea with lights that shine all night. Will they come here? I'm afraid not. Too large, you know. Chandu's catamaran is good enough for me. Chandu can take you to see a ship, someday. Page 7. Let us think and reflect. 1. Read the extracts given below and answer the questions that follow. Let's break down each extract and answer the questions. 1. You shouldn't cry, you know, the voice went on. And you really shouldn't be scared when you have been coming here to see me every day. Well, almost every day. She was puzzled. It was such a voice, like the river. It couldn't be the river. Well, tell me all about it, said the river, for it was the river. I've got to hurry to reach the sea, you know. 1. Complete the sentence with the correct option from those given in the brackets. The tone of the river in the given extract is dash. Options: assuring or sympathizing. Answer: assuring. While there's an element of sympathy as well, the river actively tries to soothe Janvi's distress and tell her not to be scared, making assuring the more prominent tone. 2. Select a phrase from the extract which shows that Janvi was a frequent visitor to the spot. The phrase is, when you have been coming here to see me every day, well, almost every day. 3. Choose the correct option to complete the sentence. The use of an exclamation mark at the end of the line, "It couldn't be the river," expresses dash. Options are A. Excitement. B. Hesitation. C. Irritation. D. Disbelief. Answer: D. Disbelief. Janvi is surprised and can't believe the river is talking to her. 4. Choose 3 qualities of the river highlighted in the extract from the words in the box given below. Affectionate, forgiving, thoughtful, impatient, kind-hearted. Answer: affectionate, the gentle dear dear, and the overall comforting tone. Thoughtful, the river observes Janvi's regular visits and knows she is upset. Kind-hearted, the river immediately seeks to understand her distress and offers solace. 2. Can I do something? Asked Jahnavi. Well, it's up to you, said the river. Seems to me little girls can do as much as little boys. They swim as fast as little boys. You just slip along one morning and sit there in the school and listen to what's going on, and maybe the teacher will let you stay. I couldn't, gasped Jahnavi. I couldn't. They'd scare me. They'd chase me out. 1. Complete the sentence with an appropriate reason. According to the river, there was no difference between girls and boys, because little girls can do as much as little boys. They swim as fast as little boys. 2. Identify whether the following statement is true or false. The river encourages Janvi to have faith in herself and fulfill her desire to go to school. Answer: true. Page 8. 3. Choose the correct option to complete the sentence. When the river suggests that Janvi should slip along, it means that she should move A. quickly, B. casually, C. quietly, D. confidently. The most appropriate option here is C. quietly. The idea of slipping along suggests moving subtly and unnoticed, which is what Janvi would need to do to get into the school without drawing immediate attention or causing a scene, especially given her fear of being chased out. 4. What does the repetition of the phrase, I couldn't, tell us? The repetition of the phrase, I couldn't, tells us about Janvi's deep fear, apprehension, and lack of self-confidence at that moment regarding the idea of going to school on her own. It emphasizes her feeling of inability and the overwhelming nature of her fear, indicating a strong internal resistance to the river's suggestion. 2. Answer the following questions. 1. Why does the writer describe different aspects of nature in great detail at the beginning of the story? Why do you think the writer does this? The writer describes nature in detail at the beginning of the story to establish the setting and atmosphere. By mentioning the kingfisher, lizard, and bamboo thicket, the writer immediately immerses the reader in Janvi's natural surroundings, which is where she finds solace and eventually encounters the river. This detailed description highlights the river's intimate connection with Janvi and her world, making the river's later conversation seem more natural within this environment. It also shows the beauty and wonder that Janvi observes and questions, setting up her thirst for knowledge. 2. How did the river know so much about Janvi? The river knew so much about Janvi because she was a frequent visitor to its banks. The text states, when you have been coming here to see me every day, well, almost every day. This implies a long-standing, quiet relationship where the river, being an omnipresent part of her daily life, could observe her and her family's routines. 3. Janvi says, and I'm so old now, they'll never let me go. What can you infer about Janvi and the school from this line? From Janvi's line, and I'm so old now, they'll never let me go, we can infer several things. Janvi's desperation and sense of lost time. She feels time is slipping away, and her window of opportunity for education is closing, leading to a sense of hopelessness. Her family's perspective on age and education for girls. It suggests that in her family or community, there might be a belief that girls, after a certain age, are expected to take on domestic responsibilities rather than pursue formal schooling. Her profound longing for school. The statement highlights how deeply she desires to go to school, as she perceives her age as a significant barrier. 4. Why did the river laugh when Janvi said she would be scared at school? The river laughed when Janvi said she would be scared at school because it knew Janvi was much braver than she gave herself credit for. The river had observed her fearlessly interacting with nature, not being afraid of the green lizard, the snake in the bamboo clump, or the noisy trains. The river's laughter was one of amused encouragement, gently pointing out her inherent courage to help her overcome this new fear. 5. Why should Janvi follow the river's advice? Janvi should follow the river's advice because the river offered practical, empowering, and ultimately successful guidance that directly addressed her dilemma. The river's advice, you just slip along one morning and sit there in the school and listen to what's going on and maybe the teacher will let you stay, was a simple, actionable step that broke down a daunting challenge into something manageable. Moreover, the river understood Janvi's courage. It challenged her self-doubt by reminding her of her existing bravery, not being scared of lizards, snakes, or trains, helping her see her own strength, emphasized her agency. By repeatedly stating, "It's up to you," the river empowered Janvi to take control of her own destiny, rather than waiting for others' permission. Proved to be wise. As the story shows, following the river's suggestion directly led to Janvi being accepted into the school, proving the advice to be sound and effective. 6. How does the conversation between Janvi and the river make the story more appealing? The conversations between Janvi and the river make the day the river spoke much more appealing and special. Firstly, it adds a magical touch to the story. Since rivers don't usually talk in real life, the idea of a river speaking makes the story unique and captures our imagination, making it fun and interesting to read. Secondly, the river acts as a wise and kind friend to Janvi. When Janvi is sad and worried about not being able to go to school, the river listens patiently and gives her helpful advice. This supportive relationship makes us feel connected to Janvi and hopeful for her. Lastly, these talks are very important for the story's main message. The river's words encourage Janvi to be brave and try new things. It helps her overcome her fear and take the step towards her dream of learning. This shows us that sometimes, a little encouragement from an unexpected friend can help us achieve big goals, making the story inspiring. 7. What is the main message that the writer intends to convey? The main message the writer intends to convey is the importance of courage, determination, and self-belief in pursuing one's dreams. The story shows that even when faced with difficulties or when others might hold us back, like Janvi's family initially, believing in ourselves and being brave enough to take action can help us achieve our goals. It also highlights that education is very valuable and that help and wisdom can come from unexpected places, like the talking river. Let's work through the Let Us Learn section. 1. You have learned that naming words are called nouns, and only proper nouns begin with a capital letter. Why has the author used a capital letter for the river, even when it is a common noun? Clue. Has the river been given qualities of a human being? The author has used a capital letter for river, even though it is a common noun, because the river is personified. This means the author has given the river qualities of a human being. For example, the river can talk, listen, give advice, and laugh, just like a person. By capitalizing river, the author shows that it's not just any river, but a special character in the story. 2. There are a few words related to sound in the text. Pick the words from the text and write them next to the correct definition. Made a high-pitched piercing sound. Shrieked, to cause liquid to strike or fall on something. Splashed, though this is more an action describing a tear, it's the closest action related to liquid. A low continuous background noise. Murmuring, cry with loud uncontrollable gasps. Sob, to make a soft dry sound, like paper or leaves moving. Rustle, took a short quick breath through the mouth due to surprise, pain or shock. Gasped, shaking rapidly to make continuous short sharp sounds. Rattling, making a lot of noise. Noisy, made a long, high cry, usually because of pain or sadness. Wailed. Now fill in the blanks with suitable sound words from exercise 2. The classroom grew, 1 noisy, as the students noticed the teacher carrying the answer papers. As the teacher turned the pages with the 2 rustle, the children, 3 gasped, wondering what comments awaited. Some 1, 4 wailed in frustration, and the 5 murmuring of the students steadily increased. Finally, when the teacher praised the students for their excellent performance, the students, 6, shrieked with excitement. 3. The word catamaran is used in the text. The word originates from Tamil language, kattumaram, meaning tied wood. Find out the meanings of these words. From which Indian language these words were borrowed. An example has been given. 1. Karma, Sanskrit. 2. Sahib. 3. Chutney. 4. Veranda. 5. Jungle. 6. Areka. 7. Guru. 8. Palanquin. Here's the solution for section 3, presenting the meaning of each word and its origin, as requested. 3. Find out the meanings of these words. From which Indian language these words were borrowed? 1. Karma, meaning the sum of a person's actions in this and previous lives, which determines their future fate. Language, Sanskrit. 2. Sahib, meaning a respectful title or form of address for a man, especially a master or European man in colonial India. Language, Hindi Urdu, originally from Arabic Persian, then widely used in Indian languages. 3. Chutney, meaning a relish or sauce of Indian origin, made from fruits, spices and herbs, served with meals. Language, Hindi Urdu, from Sanskrit. 4. Guru, meaning a spiritual teacher or guide, especially in Hinduism, Buddhism and Sikhism. Language, Sanskrit. 5. Veranda, meaning a roofed open-air gallery or porch attached to the exterior of a building. Language, Portuguese, though its ultimate origin might be Indian, adopted into English via Portuguese. 6. Jungle, meaning an area of land thickly overgrown with dense forest and tangled vegetation, typically in tropical regions. Language, Hindi Urdu, from Sanskrit. 7. Areca, meaning a type of palm tree, Areca catechu, whose nut is chewed as a stimulant, betel nut. Language, Malayalam. 8. Palanquin, meaning a covered litter for one passenger, carried on 2 horizontal poles by bearers. Language, Odia Sanskrit, adopted into English via Portuguese. 4. Chandu the fisherman has a catamaran that the river preferred to a ship. Given below are some boats that are used in different parts of our country. 1. Canoe, found widely across coastal regions and riverine areas throughout India. 2. Catamaran, primarily from the coastal areas of southern India, especially Tamil Nadu. 3. Coracle, mainly found on rivers in southern India, particularly Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. 4. Shikara, distinctly from Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. 1. Which one would you like to travel in? Answer, I would like to travel in a shikara. Reason, a shikara offers a beautiful and calm experience, especially on scenic lakes. It is well decorated and provides a comfortable way to enjoy the surroundings. 2. Make a colorful drawing of a boat that you would like to travel in. Answer, this part requires you to create a drawing. Instruction for your exam. Draw a colorful picture of the boat you chose in part 1. For instance, if you chose a shikara, draw a detailed and brightly colored shikara, showing its typical design and perhaps floating on water. Ensure your drawing is neat and vibrant. Page number 10. Solve the crossword puzzle based on words related to water transport. Here are the answers. Here are the answers to the fill in the blanks. Jahnavi takes the river's advice and goes to school. On her first day, 1. At school, Jahnavi stood nervously 2. Outside the gate, clutching her bag close to her. The bell rang and she hurried 3. Inside the bustling classroom, she found a seat 4, between 2 friendly classmates. The teacher greeted them warmly and started the lesson 5. About numbers. Jahnavi listened attentively, feeling excited 6. About the new adventure ahead. Here are the completed sentences with the correct prepositions or adverbs. 1. The cat jumped onto the table. Preposition. 2. The children played outside until dark. Adverb. 3. She quickly ran into the park. Preposition. 4. The helicopter was hovering overhead. Adverb. 5. We were just walking along chatting. Adverb. 6. After thoroughly wiping his shoes, he stepped inside. Adverb. 7. She drove slowly around the sharp curve. Preposition. 8. He placed the keys on the mat before leaving. Preposition. Okay, I see the image with the poster and the questions. Let's solve them one by one. 3. Read the poster given below and answer the questions that follow. Poster text. The happiness of a nation lies in the dignity of its daughters. 1. What are the things you can observe in the poster? Answer. In the poster, I can observe a group of girls happily looking at something or someone. They appear to be smiling and enjoying themselves. The text on the poster talks about the happiness of a nation being linked to the dignity of its daughters. 2. Why do you think the girls look happy? Answer. The girls likely look happy because the poster's message suggests that when daughters are given dignity, respect, opportunities, and importance, they are happy. Their happiness reflects the positive impact of being valued and supported. 3. Dignity means self-respect. What is the relation between dignity and happiness? Answer. The relation between dignity, self-respect, and happiness is that when individuals, especially girls, have dignity, they feel valued, respected, and confident. This feeling of self-worth and recognition leads to a sense of empowerment and well-being, which directly contributes to their happiness. When people are treated with dignity, they are more likely to thrive and be content. 4. How does a nation prosper when its daughters are happy? Answer. A nation prospers when its daughters are happy, because happy daughters are more likely to be educated, confident, and empowered. When girls are educated and have self-respect, they contribute actively to society, economy, and various fields. They can become leaders, innovators, and productive citizens, leading to overall social development, economic growth, and a stronger, more harmonious nation. Their happiness signifies their freedom to achieve their full potential. 4. The government has launched many schemes for the education of the girl child. Some of them are Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Balika Samriddhi Yojana, Samagra Shiksha Scheme, Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas, etc. Find out more such schemes from the internet or from your teacher and spread awareness in your neighborhood. Answer. The government has started many helpful plans, schemes, to make sure every girl child gets to go to school and study. Besides the ones mentioned, here are two more important ones. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. This is a special savings plan where parents can save money for their daughter's future education and marriage. It helps families prepare for their girl child's needs. National Scheme of Incentives to Girls for Secondary Education, NSIGSE. This plan gives money to girls, especially those from scheduled castes, SC, and scheduled tribes, ST, to encourage them to continue studying in high school, secondary education. How to spread awareness in your neighborhood. Talk to people. Tell your family, friends, and neighbors why it's so important for girls to go to school. Share information. Explain these government schemes in simple words to them. You can tell them how these plans can help girls get educated. Encourage. Ask parents to send their daughters to school and make good use of these government schemes. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 1, The Day the River Spoke, from the new Class 7 English book, Purvi. We've explained the full story in simple English and also solved all the NCERT questions and exercises to make sure you're exam ready. If you want to understand this story in Hindi, the full Hindi explanation is available in the pinned comment and also in the description box. Don't miss it. In the next video, we'll move on to the beautiful poem of this unit, King Bruce and the Spider, with easy explanation, word meanings, and activities. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any updates. See you in the next video. Bye bye and happy learning.